sits on a smoke cloud, thinking out loud, trying to be strong.
What's going on?
As she cries.
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing good.
She is.
Oh, I'm jealous. I was gonna do the outside background today, and I didn't do
Yeah,
it. We've been matching.
I figured that I'd try something a little different this time around instead of being in my studio. So
Nice, nice.
yeah.
So where are you right now?
I'm outside just chilling, whatnot, on the East
What
Coast.
city?
I'm on the
In the
East
East Coast?
Coast. Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Mr. Secretive. Okay, all right. So welcome. As you know, this is the bigger picture. We're affiliated with the Urban magazine,
Hmm.
and I'm really excited to get a chance to talk to you today.
Absolutely. Listen, this
I
is
was
my honor.
I've been Kevin Ross all morning. I'm just letting you know. You know what I mean? Not that I was already a fan. So,
It's all good.
um, so you're from DC, yes?
I'm from DC. Yep.
Yep. That's
Yeah.
what's up. That's what's up.
Yeah.
All right. Born and raised there.
Yeah, born and raised, mom and pops. My father he sings, and then like the rest of my father's side of the family, they play instruments and stuff like that. So,
Oh, really? Do you play an
hmm
instrument too?
yeah, I play keys and I play guitar from time to time. Hmm.
Very nice. Have you
Yeah,
played on? Yeah, I'm sure you've played on your albums or your EPs and such, right?
yeah. Well, I mean, I produce a lot of that stuff too, and then like I played guitar on a song called "Long Song Away" that did pretty well for me. Um,
Love
and
that
so
song.
yeah, so
Mm.
that was my first song that I ever recorded on guitar, and so yeah, yeah. So
Oh my
it's
gosh, well, that
awesome.
was the first song that I heard from you. Actually, it was a while ago, of course. When I first heard that, when I first heard that track, I was just, it sounded like a classic.
Yeah,
It was
thank
like an
you.
immediate classic, you know what I mean? So that's what's up. That's what's up. Now, I know you said you came from a whole like family full of singers and
Yeah.
musicians. Who was the most influential for you?
In the family,
Mm.
honestly, it would be my aunt. I got an aunt by the name of Aunt Cookie, but she's better known as Vivian, and she was a part of a '80s group called Shades of Lace. And so, she was signed to Polygram, and they did the whole like run of like Soul Train and all of the stuff that you would do like back in the day or whatever. Had little official videos. So she was like the one that really kind of like set forth like the path for her nephew, of course myself,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And
to
how old were
do what we
you?
do.
How old were you?
When she was in the group, I don't think I was
Mhm.
born yet, honestly. Um, I was like either like just being thought of to be conceived, or I was like in my mother's belly or something like that. But outside of that, like yeah, it was like by the time that I was like a youngin, she had already like moved to Vegas and like decided to like um, go another route as far as like performing wise. So
Mhm.
she then
Mhm.
became like a Vegas performer, and then she started to do impersonations like Tina Turner. So she's been killing that for over
Okay.
like 20, 30 years now, and just kind of showing a different route and a different path. So she always kind of let me know like what was up with the business, and so I
Mhm.
kind of knew a little bit about it. And so like as things like uh continue on and as the business evolved, I was talking to her, I'm like, man, this shit is crazy out here, like I don't know what to do. And she was like, I ain't never heard of that. So but I always kind of had her as my sanity. So whenever I was in LA, I would just literally drive to Vegas, take those 4.5 hours and just,
Mhm.
chop it up with her. And that was my escapism for a long time, when I was out in LA and all that stuff, when I was on a major.
Now,
Yeah.
now, do you think you'd ever take a different route, or are you gonna like kind of like peel back the layers and you know like
Um,
act or?
yeah, I mean, you never know. Whatever God has for
Mhm.
me, you know what I mean? I just got to be ready and prepared. So I'm definitely willing to accept all things that come my way. So acting, whether that is, even like furthering my endeavors in philanthropy or whatever through my company, Art
Okay,
Society Music
explain.
Group. So yeah, you never know.
Explain. Our Society Music Group. Explain. I know that's definitely that's your label, right?
Yes, yes, yes. God engineered and vision driven. That's what it's all about. I wanted to make sure that I created a company that really embodied what I stand for, what I believe in, and to make sure that there was a home and a safe haven for artists that are, like-minded. If I ever do deals with people, it's partnerships. I don't believe in
Right.
signing anyone directly to me, and just having that as, like a stamp. But
Right.
really
Right.
partnering so that
So
I
like,
can, yeah, to share the wealth and the knowledge. The goal is to be, one of the most successful independent R&B artists ever. So that's the goal, and that's what we're shooting for. So, I just want to, kind of like set the tone, that is possible, and that you can make a substantial amount of money, being independent, and not just being independent in doing hip hop, but being independent and doing R&B too. So
yeah. Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that because I mean, the industry right now, it's like hip hop, love hip hop.
yeah,
It has taken over.
for
It
sure,
has
for
taken
sure.
over.
Yeah,
So it's really refreshing when artists like yourself, R&B artists, come out and they're there in the front. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And they're doing their thing and they're letting everybody. They're making some noise. You're making noise.
Thank you.
You know, that's what's up. That's what's
Thank
up.
you. A lot of
So
no, a
now,
lot of more noise to be made, but yeah, it's a start.
oh yeah, 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 no, but see, I told
Yeah,
you I was already paying attention. So you know what I
yeah,
mean.
yeah,
Um, Speaking of which, though, what I did come across as I was looking you up
yeah.
was that I saw some, what's it called? You were doing the tribute with a young lady. I don't, what, Miss J, maybe is her name?
Yeah, Miss
Miss, what
J
is her?
DMV. Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, that was beautiful.
Thank you
That
so
was
much.
beautiful.
Thank you.
You can appreciate harmonies and stuff like that. You're like a
Yeah.
singer. You're a real singer.
Thank you. I
You're
appreciate
not
it.
out here, you know what I mean, just trying to just skip by, with a really dope beat. So
Oh,
I can appreciate that.
thank you. That
Yeah.
means a
Yeah.
lot, for sure. For
So
sure.
yeah, so you're like I said, you're a singer
Yeah.
and you're a real songwriter,
Hmm.
right? You went to Berkeley, yes? Did
Yeah, I
I
went
see
to
that
Berkeley
right?
College of Music up in Boston. Yeah.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice. And that was your major, right?
No, it wasn't. It was a CWP, which is contemporary writing and production. So it's like arranging for strings and stuff like that. So hence, like a lot of my mashups, if people see them online, like I use
Right.
a lot of that. I used a lot of that in school. So I ain't got horns and strings. So I just use my voice to, create these arrangements.
Yeah.
And so, it kind of worked out.
Yeah, your own band, all in your voice and your
Yeah.
chords. That's what's
Yep.
up.
Yep.
And the songwriting is beautiful. Like
Thank
seriously,
you.
really, because I'm a stickler for some good lyrics. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I have to be able to hear something that makes sense. It
Yeah.
can't just have a dope beat. So that's what's up. Yeah, I was.
Thank you.
Speaking of which, I saw there were some things I wanted to ask you about.
Yeah.
Off of Audacity,
Yeah.
you have a song called "Forsaken."
For a second. Yeah.
Yeah, at the end of
Uh-huh.
Forsaken, I had to rewind it back. I was like, did he just say what I thought? You said, quote,
Uh-huh.
"Once I love you, you're always mine."
Yep. Mhm.
I need you to explain that. Like, what does that mean?
Well, I think it plays into like the next song, which is switching sides, and so
um,
that's I think like talking to other people as well. That's how people feel. Like when you love somebody, you feel like there's always going to be an attachment there. You know what I mean? There's
mm,
always going to be some form of care or some form of like some form of thought there. That doesn't mean that like you guys are going to be together forever. It just means that you know what I mean?
so
Like
let me make this clear.
yeah, like there's always going to be a part of me there. There's always going to be a part of me there ingrained in that woman. You know what I mean? Or vice versa. There's always going to be a part ingrained, you know what I mean, in me from my experiences with, certain women. So it is what it is.
I mean, now when you explain it that way, and now that I
Yeah.
have a better understanding on where you're coming from, I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
I do agree. You're sending you hearts. Hey, everyone,
What
all the
up?
love that you can hear. By the way, everybody that's listening, when we get towards the end, I'm going to ask everybody if they have questions. So if you have some questions, just hold them to the end, then you can ask, okay? Anyway, I wanted to get back to this. Now that you said that, no, seriously,
Yeah.
because what people don't realize is that when you're in a relationship, it's very binding. It's
Yeah,
what you're basically,
absolutely.
I mean, it's binding. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You're leaving yourself on people. So I
Yeah.
think that's really dope that you incorporate that in your music.
Indeed.
You also incorporate some other like spiritual stuff in your music, like in
Hmm.
Honest.
Yeah.
you said something about there's levels to honesty, and that
Mm,
something should be left between you and God.
for
Like,
sure.
you just seem like you're coming from a very deep and profound kind of place. Like, what,
Yeah.
explain those. What taught you those things other than your relationships? Like, what relationship was most important that taught you those things?
God, my relationship with God. I mean, I had
Mm-hmm.
to understand, like, as a human being, that, even though we operate on a physical, that things are ran in the spiritual world as well. And so
Mm-hmm.
whatever you believe in, I believe that we worship the same God. So whether you believe in Islam, or whether you believe in Christianity, whether you believe in Buddhism, Hinduism, whatever it is, it's like the sun. You may call it something different, but it still shines on all of us the same way. And so, with that being said, the spirit realm is very real for me. And so I always want to kind of put that in my music. And I don't ever want it to, come off like, oh, he thinks he's so deep, he thinks he's so profound. It's just the fact that it's like, nah, I'm just aware. I'm aware that there are things that, like, that work for us, and there's things that work against us too. The devil is a liar, for sure. Hey, yo, that's so
Go ahead,
crazy.
bro. Yeah, I
My
know.
phone,
I
my
know.
phone overheated. Like, as I was outside, I was like, man, I'm gonna do something different. I'm gonna talk outside, and that
See?
and that sun was blazing on my phone, like, in a crazy way. So I apologize for that, and I apologize for everybody watching. Sorry about that.
That's fine. I
Jeez
mean,
Louise. Yeah, okay. All right.
it's
All right,
all
we good.
good.
We
It's
good
all
now.
good. It happens.
Yeah.
So, you were talking. You were actually, being very, very deep. You were talking. Yeah, we were talking about. I asked you about your relationship. What was the most important relationship to you that taught you these different things? And you were expressing how that it was actually the relationship with yourself
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
was most important. It taught you these different things.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, I mean, I mean, God is the most important source, and understanding that, like, it's my duty as well. Like, yeah, I'm an R&B singer, but I'm also a man of God first. And so for
I dig
me,
you.
like I said, I'm not trying to, like, shove things down people's throats, but if they're gonna listen to the project, they're gonna take in parts of me, and they're gonna take in, like, how my brain operates and functions. So you can still
Hmm.
bop, and you can still enjoy the music, but then you can understand the meaning behind it too, and the intention. And the intention is
Hmm.
not to destroy. My
Hmm.
intention is not to confuse people either. My intention is to make people feel good, to heal people, to help people,
Hmm.
to make them feel like they're not alone. Whether it is a love song, whether it is whatever it is. But music is supposed to be for healing and not confusion or destruction. And so, that's what I want
Agreed.
to bring to the table.
And you do. You're doing a very good job of that. Um, now, now you said there's levels to honesty.
Yeah.
That was a
Yeah.
very that's a pretty heavy line, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Was there a particular moment that it hit you, where it was like an epiphany, or did
Uh,
it kind of like just over time?
just over time, understanding, like, everyone just has different thresholds. You know what I mean? Like, somebody be like, listen, I just want it straight. I want it honest. I want it this and that. And it's like, no, you don't. You don't want,
You can't handle the
you
truth.
can't, you know what I mean? Because certain people, you know what I mean? Like, what did they say? They said that communication is 60% body language, 30% tone, and 10% the actual message. That says a lot. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah,
like,
most
how it's being delivered means a lot more. So it's like, how I deliver it, you can get in your feelings, and not really receive the message because of how it was presented to you. But it's like, but I was honest, and that's when good intentions go awry. And so for me, I'm like, I have to look at the gauge of the person too. I have to look at them and
mm,
say, they
are
can't
they?
they can't handle that. They can't handle this, right? So that means that you can still be transparent, but it's certain things, how you deliver it, or certain things that you keep to say, not either not right now, or they're just
Hmm.
not in a place to handle that. And that's just having respect for that person too. Like, that's not being
Okay.
devious. It's not being a fuck boy. It's just literally, some people, now let's be clear. Some people are devious. Some people don't mean well and they playing
Right.
games. But
That's right.
I just understand that honesty, man, like it just come in different forms. Like somebody could tell you the flat out truth and you're just not willing to accept it. You know what I
That's
mean?
true.
So
Because yeah, just not ready to. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Wow. Well, what can we expect from Audacity Volume 2, which is out this Friday?
yeah, out this
Just
Friday.
3 days.
Come on, August 14th, Audacity Volume
Yes.
2. Make sure that you guys go ahead and pre-save that. I mean, honestly, it's a continuation of Volume 1. So you have conversation pieces on there. It starts off with God is a genius. So that's how it opens. It opens with, a strong mid-tempo, feel good, keeping it very breezy. But it's the meaning behind it as well. And then it goes into I Do / Options, which is a love song. Which it has that bop and that vibe, and then you really start to
Yes.
get into, just the feels and the vibes, and really understand like where I'm headed as an R&B artist. I consider myself a bridge artist, and so I think bridge artists are the most difficult because it's like imagine an artist being a drawbridge, right? And you have the past or the older demographic, and then you have the younger demographic, and so I think of it as IG. Facebook. And so I landed in a predicament where I have followings on both, but my Facebook is much bigger, right? It's almost 400,000, and my IG is 160 something thousand, right? There's still something that you can't sneeze at, but at the end of the day, the goal for a bridge artist is to have these two worlds to join together. I need the grandmamas, the mamas, and the daughters to all attend my concerts. I need that in order for it to make sense, in order for the music to connect and to make sense, because that's what I create. For years and years, I've denied myself, the ability to really create at the highest level that I could. I was holding back. I've been holding back so much of what I could actually do. I'm sorry.
Why? Why were you holding back? Like what made you hold back, and what made you think like I'm holding back, I need to fix this? And then I'm sure you did self-evaluation.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? I know you did. You're a Saggy, right? You're Sagittarius.
Yes, indeed. Yeah.
Yeah. I know you did self-evaluation. So, what did you find? Like, why were you holding back? Is it just kind of like the cliche kind of thing? You get into the industry and people try to pigeonhole you into this one thing, and then you know what I mean? You kind of have to break off, blossom.
I was too young and I was very impressionable. And so, what I realized is that, I came into the business at 20 years old. You know what I mean? Like, that's when I first got my first writing credit. And so, I was writing for people that were way older than me. And so they had more experience than me. But somehow my music connected to them. So here I am trying to be an artist at 22 or something like that. And hear these mature songs. And they're like, your demographic doesn't want to hear that from you. And I believe that. I believe that wholeheartedly. And so I had to try to play the game for many years. And then, after a while, it's just like, you know what? Let's just see. Let's see how these records go. Let's try a long song away. I know I'm gonna end up in Urban AC, but let's see. You know what I mean? Because it's
beautiful song.
Thank you.
I'm serious. That was the song. That was the first one I heard from you a while ago that hit me.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. Like it was a couple years ago when I first heard it. I was like, wow. Like this is just like it's on my playlist.
Wow. That means a lot because I was holding that song forever. I was holding that song. It came out in 2016. I wrote it in 2013 or 2012 or something like that. So it was already ready to go. I just felt like I believed so much of like the people that were around me and what they were feeding me at the time. It just wasn't, it wasn't the truth. I took it as the truth, and that was on me just being young and impressionable. So the older I became, it was like, that's not the truth. I've been holding back. I've been doing all this, you know what I mean? Like, for what? So I needed an outlet. So it started with mashups, and then I wanted to create something different for myself. And, Audacity is kind of it's like intermission. It's like that place where it's like the threshold where I'm experimenting to say, what are people ready for? I can go here, and I can go here, I can go as far as you want me to go, and I can go as deep as you want me to go. But I understand
Right.
that this is a business. And now that I'm in control over my destiny and over my product, now I can gauge and actually do this social experiment with a project to say, what do you like? And what do you
Right.
what do you need of me? Because I'm a man of service. You know, as an
Right.
artist, I'm here to serve you guys the kind of music that you want to hear, not the shit that I want to hear. I can make the music I want to hear all day long and
Play it
play it
by
in my
myself.
car. Yeah, you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? But I want to make money too. You know what I'm saying? So, like,
I'm sure you want to make people feel,
yeah,
you make people feel, you make people evolve,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? You make people want to, make love. There's all different,
yeah,
and you're responsible for that. It's a lot of responsibility,
absolutely.
you know. And I'm glad that you mentioned mashup because
Yeah.
I saw the mashup show. That looks like you have a lot of fun on there.
Yes,
That's
indeed.
cute. I like. I
Thank you.
actually now is I saw that you had it's like 90s mashup
Yeah,
back in like 2015, 16
yeah,
or so, like,
yeah.
right?
Mm.
Now, what I've seen on YouTube, is that just a spin-off from that, or when did that start? Like, I know when it started, but like, is it a continuation, or
As far
what
as
went on?
as
As
far
far
as
as it being on YouTube, how long has it been on YouTube, I guess is my
the
question.
mashup show
Because
or the actual like the boxes, me and the boxes.
you in the boxes.
Oh, me and the boxes, yeah, that's been going on since 2016. It's been going on since
16.
2016, and it's evolution there because my brother sent me an app, and it was called Acapella, and we were just
Mm.
going back and forth, just sending ideas to one another. That's how I started off, and
Mhm.
then I was like, you know what? I should just probably put one of these ideas online. Like, what the hell, right? And
Yeah.
so I was like, okay, cool. Like, it's a cool little reaction from it. This could be something
Mhm.
interesting other than me just going online and holding the phone and just singing. You know what I mean? So I was like,
Right.
I can
Right.
actually arrange this. This is kind of cool. And then it evolved into saying, okay, well, one song ain't enough. And then IG extended it to a minute. And I was like, okay, now it's time for me to
Hmm.
start dividing songs up. This feels like it can go into this. And just
Yeah, you're
started to
like
do
you're
it.
like a DJ. You're like
Yes. Yes,
you're like a
that
DJ, the way you kind of just go from one song to the next to the next, and you do it all with your own vocal cords.
yeah, yeah. That's
Like,
that
you
that
know what
was
I
the
mean?
point. That was the point too. I
That's
heard
that's dope. That's
thank
dope.
you. Thank you. I
It,
heard so many DJs and in my head, like, if you find a good DJ, then it's a blessing. But for me, I
uh,
was like, something is off. Something ain't right. Like DJs have the knack to like find the right BPMs and the feel and the vibe.
mhm,
But then for me,
mhm.
because I'm a musician, like the tonality of it, like the key wasn't right.
Off.
So like when they like do the acapellas and they be changing the beats and I be like, oh my God, this is not it. But everybody else like, ooh, this
Yeah,
is hard.
yeah.
I'm like, no, it's not. This just sounds terrible. So I was like, if I can create a platform or a template to say, okay, well, I mean, they have the right intentions, but let's
Right.
just make it
Yeah.
make sense. And that's really the mashup thing is being a DJ and then like putting the records together in the right key so that it just feels like an experience.
Yeah, like an experience. And
Yes.
and artists have done that like on their albums,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Where some of them have gone from one song to the
Yeah.
next, as you've done, you know what I mean? You kind of just slip into the next one. And that's always been it's just super creative, and you don't lose your listener in between
That's
almost, you
right.
know what I mean?
That's
The
right.
continuation. And you did it with your vocals. And you did it like the DJ thing. I liked a lot.
Thank you.
So, I did run across another artist that you have a single out with right
Yeah.
now,
Yeah.
right?
Mm.
What's her name again? I don't know how to
Can
pronounce it.
No, that's fine. Canjale. Canjale. The record is called Everybody Here Wants You. It is a cover of a Jeff Buckley song that he written, and it is an awesome record. And I felt like we could reproduce it and make it into an R&B record. So that's what we did. So it's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
because you
Yeah,
do what you want. You
exactly.
do what you want.
I do what I want. Let's
That's
go.
right. That's right. And you did that with Nothing Even Matters, right? I listened
Yeah.
to that today. Was the first time I listened to you do that. Actually, I
Okay.
was just like, oh,
Shout out to
okay.
Kirby. Shout out to Kirby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what's up. That's
Hmm.
what's up. So any other songs that we could expect that you want to cover? You
Uh,
want to tell? You want to share?
you know what? I wanna go for a Grammy with one of my covers. I want a Grammy for I want one. I just now I gotta play the game. I have to play the game in order to do it. Like it was, it's one thing to like do it and you like, all right, I'll put it on DSPs. But then it's a whole
Right.
nother thing to like actually be intentional to say, I want to win a Grammy from off of a cover that I do. I want it to feel that good. I want it to feel that unique and that singular within a way
Mm-hmm.
where I can win a gold for that. That's one thing that I studied as a student of the game
Mm-hmm.
was every great artist that I looked up to, they knew how to master a cover. They knew how to master someone else's song and to make their voice distinct on that. And that is an art within itself. Stevie Wonder knew how to do it. Aretha knew how to do it. Marvin knew how to do it. Gladys knew how to do it. Prince knew how to do it. Michael knew how to do it. You know what I mean? Like the list goes on and on of these artists. And let's be very clear. I mean, these artists are, like,
Well, yeah,
you know,
yeah,
but
they're
to be
legends.
but to be a student, that's what we strive for. That's what we're trying to reach and to accomplish. You know what I mean? And if we just sit there and allow for them to, yes, thank you so much, Luther Vandross. Yes, Luther Vandross. He's like,
Oh, I gotta put mine is like way down.
yeah,
Okay.
he's like the master. He's like the master of it. As it
Yeah.
pertains to that. But you know, if we're not going to strive for it within this new generation, then we're doing our predecessors a disjustice.
This is
We're
just,
doing them an injustice as it pertains to, if they didn't win a gold from it, if they didn't win no Grammys from it, then it's in my right, it's within my legacy to win a gold for them. And to understand when I go up on that podium that there are many people that stood before me and that it's not only mine, but it's theirs as well, because their DNA of their music is inside of me. It inspired me, right? So we stand on the shoulders of that. So I got to do
yes, yes. That's
it.
beautiful. That's
Yeah,
beautiful. No, that's beautiful. I mean,
yeah,
more artists should, perhaps take that perspective,
yeah,
because there's a lot of beautiful music that, I feel like, the culture, we just kind of like, it was out, it was beautiful at the time, and it just kind of got shoved to the side because, recognition isn't always
yeah,
paid,
yeah.
to those that deserve it. And so I think that's a beautiful thing that you do that, and that's
Absolutely.
your.
We gotta
Um,
we gotta change the game a little bit. What
mhm,
people understand within the music business, most people don't know is that there's only 2 points within an artist's time of a song where
mhm,
that product is valuable, and that's when it immediately comes out and when you die,
uh-huh,
right? So
yeah,
the in between has such a steep decline. But if
yeah,
you give someone roses, and let's just say if it's a song that may be 10 or 15 years old, that artist may very well still be alive. You may not know what they're
mhm,
doing, but at the end of the day,
right,
if it's great, it's great, and you can still create your greatness while still paying reverence and honor to them as well. Every artist that's created great music deserves to have their product to continue on and to be extended, not just when they die, so that's what it's about. It's the extension of the life of a product. And I hope that I make, good enough music where 20, 30 years from now that someone will want to do the same thing for mine. So,
was there anybody in particular that you want to work with? I mean,
um,
that you haven't worked with yet? Like, I know that you said, I know that what you've written for Neo, right? Did I
yeah,
read that?
yeah.
Who else have you worked with?
I work with Nia, I work with Maxwell, I work with Trey, I work with
Mhm.
Lil Wayne, I work with Tony Braxton, I work with
Mhm.
SWB, I work with a whole bunch of people, to be honest. Who else? Who else? Shout out to Esther Dean. Um, Shout out to I mean, I was able to work with Diane Warren, David Foster, Babyface. Shout out to Babyface
Mhm.
and Antonio Dixon. Yeah, we've been able to work with a whole bunch of cool people.
So
Yeah,
then who's left? Who do you want to
Stevie
work with?
Wonder. Stevie Wonder. Stevie
Yeah.
Wonder is the last on my bucket list. Yeah,
Okay. All
yeah,
right. Well, you're gonna make that happen. You
indeed.
already put it out there. So if anybody, I was gonna say, if anybody has any questions, hit us with the questions. I'm sure people have some things they want to know.
For sure.
Yeah, yeah. So how, I wanted to ask you, I'm usually asking in the beginning,
Yeah.
how are you holding up during this pandemic?
I'm doing pretty well, actually. The first month was like a bit of a doozy because I was just trying to figure
Mm,
out like what was going on, like what did this mean? How long would it last? We've never experienced anything like this, and then
mm,
people start getting ideas like maybe you should just start putting on music. I'm just like, wait, we already know what the hell
yeah.
going on. Let's figure out what's going on first before we try to start drop stuff. You know what I mean? Like,
Right,
so I'm
right.
I'm grateful that we took the time to,
Yeah.
just kind of analyze the situation. But this was a cool time because I was able to spend time with fam as far as like on Zoom and what's the house party app and all kind of
Hmm.
stuff that like I wouldn't have had time to do if the world was going to continue to do its
That's
thing.
true.
So
That,
for me, I really took advantage of it, and I'm taking advantage of it now, just slowing down the process, and then
mm,
and really valuing life for what it is, being grateful that
mm,
like even though the world is not in a place where we would want it to be, God still
hmm.
allows for the world to spin, and for
Yeah.
us to still be able to exist and to to deal with it, and I said this on my show last night, that 2020 is supposed to be the year of clarity, and that's what we got clarity. In order for things to be
Yeah.
clear, you got to rid of the toxic stuff. You have to see the
Yep.
world for what it is, and
That's
we had to see it for its races, bias, sexes, you know what I mean? All of this craziness had to come forth in order for us to rectify it. So, for there to be a reckoning, for it to happen in order for us to say, if we want better,
hmm.
expose what we don't like to change it.
Hmm.
We couldn't bury it anymore. So as we come into this, well, we're already in a new decade, but if we're in this new
Hmm.
decade, let's adjust now. Let's
Yeah.
adjust and make those changes. So I'm grateful
It's all
for it.
about pivoting.
Yeah.
All about pivoting.
Yep.
A couple of questions I saw somebody, the first question was, do you have any artists right now? I know that
No.
you don't sign artists because it's not that kind of, it's like more of a partnership. I remember you
Yeah.
mentioning that. Okay.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
don't have any artists
I
under
don't
you
have any
right now.
artists. Am I looking to partner with people? Not right now. Not right now. I
Okay.
do want to get through another year. Mind you, like September 28th will be my first year of actually being in business. Like it'll be my first, like my 1 year anniversary of being an independent label and being an independent artist. Thing Called Love was the first thing that dropped, and so that's how
Hmm.
I kind of mark and commemorate that. So after year two, I will
Hmm.
be looking to partner with people because by then I would have accomplished certain things that just kind of make sense. Like I said, I'm going for the gold, and
Hmm.
I understand the streaming game. I understand the terrestrial radio game now, and I understand
Hmm.
satellite radio and how you can make money. Now it's just all about when I sit with certain artists, when I sit with certain business people, it's about what they
Hmm.
want, right? And their view of success, because the game is different now, and how you win, it all varies. There's not
Hmm.
one way to winning, which is that like we're in the best time in the music business. Like it
Yeah.
may not sound like it, but
Right.
the structure of it is so free
Mm.
that you're able to
Agree.
be who you want to be, right? And you can
Yeah.
now lay out the ground rules to your business. And now you can redefine success and what it means to you. So if success means
Mm.
to be a social influencer and to have these brands come and for you to partner with them and for them to give you money in order for you to continue to content create, then that could be
Hmm.
success for you. Or you could be a terrestrial radio artist that after the pandemic, you can continue to tour and build a tour
Hmm.
around that, and very well make millions of dollars off of touring. Or you could be a streaming darling as far as within Spotify or Apple Music, Tidal, Pandora,
Hmm.
all of your
Yep.
DSPs, and you can create revenue there. There's so many avenues that you can go. It's just making sure that whoever I partner with, that they understand that there's different routes and that they have clarity in where they want to go, so that the intention It's very clear from the beginning when we partner up. I'm not giving you no hidden fees. I'm not trying to bullshit you, and that we're trying to get you to the clearest form of success of what you wanted, so that when we sit back a year from our partnership, that it's like, cool, you know, we were able to partner and to do this for you, and to say, okay, this is accomplished. Now, what else do you want to do? Whether you want to do it with our business, with our company again or not, that's your option. But at least we're giving you the tools. The goal is to inform and to you know, provide knowledge to this next generation, to empower them, to allow for them to have this sanity, this peace about them. Because if you have peace and sanity and awareness, it changes the music. It changes the whole vibration and how people feel. So it starts with us. Yeah. So I'm an artist advocate, because if I can save them and I can save our community, then we can save the world as it pertains. And I don't know, like, we are the world type shit, but just as far as, but in the sense that it's like healing from the inside, right? If you start from the inside, the artist and the creative is the inside. It's the inside of culture. It's the inside of our community, right? You can't avoid not listening to music. It's everywhere, right? So if we're sick, if we're dying, if we're sad, if we're incomplete, then it reflects in our music. And guess what? In return, you digest that. You take our energy. You put that on, you know, we put that on to y'all. So if I can't, I gotta fix our community, or I have to be a part of or be a catalyst in fixing our community, so that we heal from the inside out. So
wow, like you got layers. You're like an onion. So that's what's up. Like, you know, it's refreshing talking to somebody that has layers. Sees the bigger picture. Yes, shameless plug. The bigger picture.
Come on, let's get it.
So there's another question. I'm gonna shoot this out to you real quick. Somebody was asking if 27 years old was too old, I guess, to, you know, how's that age in the game? You know, I just saw it. That's all.
It depends
I personally think.
Yeah, it depends on what you want to be. It depends on what you want to be. If you want to be a teenage heartthrob, yeah, it's too late. But if you want to be, if you want to be like an artist that can make money and to create a career from off of it, it's never too late. You just have to be clear on the business model that you're trying to structure.
What do you want? You have to say, what do I want? This is what it is, and this is the image that I'm going for. This is the audience, target audience. This is who I think I can affect, and, you know, your intent. What's your intent? Yeah, I agree with that.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna go ahead. What are you gonna say?
Don't allow for societal fears and numbers that they put on us to dictate how you move. Right? You have to free yourself from that. That's why Prince always said, he was like, I don't believe in birthdays. I don't believe in numbers. Because if you buy into that, people already believe that it's like, I should be married by 30. I should have kids by this time. I should have a career by this. I should have if I don't have this, what am I going to do? And now more than ever,
you're stressed out. You're paralyzed.
Depression is at an all-time high, and some people ain't strong enough to take it. So at the end of the day, if you succumb to that, then you'll never accomplish anything. And then you just become another notch in the wheel. Because you know why it's structured and created that way? Because there's somebody out there that set those rules that want you to work for them. It's much easier for you to give up.
It's control.
Absolutely. And the more control they have over you, to say, 26, he don't know how, or he or she, they're 26, 27, they don't know how young and ripe they are. But if we set these societal forms for them to say, oh, you're too old to be an artist, you should give up. Oh, you're too old to do this. Oh, you're washed up. 27?
27 is young.
Let's put this into perspective here, guys. All right. So technically, 18 years old, you go off to college. So that means for 18 years of your life, you have been under your parent guardian rule, right? So by the time that you're 21, you're supposed to have graduated and then start your life and begin your path, because you didn't somehow mysteriously got your shit together in 4 years, right? And that's not the truth.
That's not the truth.
I speak with a lot of my OGs that are 40, 50 years old. And I said, what is the one thing that you wish you would have known at 30 that you know now? And he was like, that 30 isn't old. And I was like, that's a very interesting concept, because a lot of my peers now, we're at that cusp. I'm 20 now, I'm 30, and I ain't,
Yeah, right. Yeah, being in your 30s, you feel like that's it. I'm old.
you hit, at 30, you start to, because now you've lived those 9 or 10 years, you start to get acclimated in your own skin, to understand who you are and how you want to fit into society, right? Especially now with so much distraction in social media. So I encourage each and every person under the sound of my voice, and as we're listening to this, no matter how old you are, whether you're 26, 27, 30, 32, 35, whatever that number is, you have to be clear on what you want, and you have to be intentional. You have to put on those blinders. You got to block out those societal norms of what is expected of you, because as long as you live by that expectancy, then you'll never reach your full potential, ever.
This is true. This is
ever.
true.
It's an anomaly. It's an anomaly when you find a young person doing something in their path. That's why they're called prodigies. That's why they're called geniuses, for a reason, because they're abnormally clear about something that takes forever for the average person to figure out.
This is true. This is true. Now, I'm going to ask one more question. I saw somebody ask. They wanted to know, are there any songs that you've done that when you released them, everyone else was crazy about them and you were just like, okay, or that, or vice versa, a song that you were like, yo, this is my favorite track on the album, and everybody's kind of like, okay, has that happened to you?
Yes, and it continues to happen to me as well. I won't say the record.
No, you don't have to go into detail about what. But it's like, what happened?
I've definitely been wrong.
Y'all not feeling that? Y'all not feeling that song? That's the best one.
Yeah, I've definitely been wrong. And I've definitely been, wrong in both ways. To be like, wow, this is doing amazingly well. I just thought I was going to put this out and just to pass the time. You know what I'm saying? No, we actually got to do something with this record. What the hell? So, yeah, for sure. For sure.
Like, okay.
Exactly.
Then you got to dig into your creative bag a little bit deeper and figure out, okay, so we're going to run with this one then. Yeah. So that's what being creative is, I guess. That's what being an artist is.
Yeah.
And you embody that. You're a true songwriter, you're a true singer, you have appreciation for harmony and the whole production, not just the instrumentation. And you also, as a true artist, as I see in you, that you take responsibility for the music that you put out, that you share with others. And you also, because of you speak of legacy, I can tell that the way you are, like, you're a true artist. So I think that, seriously, I think the world is really, really lucky to have you. Seriously. So
that means a lot.
But I'm gonna wrap it up. Not unless you have anything that you really want to talk about. Everybody don't forget, Audacity Volume 2, this Friday. All right? This Friday. 3 days. Don't miss it, okay?
And make sure that you guys tune in for another segment of the Mashup Show, which is on my Facebook Live, which comes on next Monday at 8 o'clock. We are having Adrian Marcel as our special guest. So please lock in, stay tuned in. And like she said, Audacity Volume 2 this Friday. Get into it. Let me know how you feel about it. I'm all about conversation, and you like it, you like it. If you don't, tell me what, tell me why. Tell me why you don't like it so I can make it better.
I need some reasons, good reasons why you're not feeling this.
Exactly.
No, but
that's real.
But thank you again. Thank you everybody for tuning in, and we're gonna keep it rolling and keep you busy. We have some more interviews coming up. I hope everybody is safe. Continues to be safe during the pandemic, and I want y'all to stay up, stay focused, stay blessed. All right, have a good night. Bye, Kevin.
As she cries through her song, she is Black Dove Blue Song. She finds herself flying alone